Morning, everybody. Let me see if I can work this. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, thanks for the invitation, Paul. I'm Julie. I'm with DCG. For those who aren't familiar with us, we are an investor in the crypto and AI space. We own 5 companies: Grayscale, which is the world's largest crypto native digital asset firm; Foundry, the world's largest Bitcoin mining pool; Luno, which is equivalent to Coinbase in emerging markets; and 2 new subsidiaries that we launched at the end of last year, one focused on Bitcoin mining and the other on decentralized AI, which I want to talk to you a little bit about today. So we just last month had a fly-in where we had close to 40 of our founders, because we also invest in about 200 companies across the globe. We had about 40 founders come to DC, and in addition to meeting with members about a lot of the stuff that Jessica covered in her presentation, we focused heavily on decentralized AI. A lot of folks think of DCG and they think of crypto and blockchain, and more recently we've spent equal, if not more, time focusing on decentralized AI. And as all of you in this room know, when you're talking about something new, it's really important to define what you're talking about and where you started. We're at the stage where people might be talking about decentralized AI in different ways, so I just wanted to level set with a quick definition here and what we're talking about. So when we say decentralized AI, we're talking about distributed ownership and governance of AI in order to help mitigate its risks and to make the technology more transparent and accessible to all. And prior to our fly-in, we went into the field to do some polling so that when we were meeting with folks, it was anchored in some new data. So I want to quickly review that with you guys so you have a sense of where consumers and voters are when it comes to decentralized AI. And just as a preview, when we did this survey, we didn't talk about decentralized AI because we made the assumption no one knows what we're talking about when we say that. We didn't talk about centralized AI, and I'll get into that in a minute, but I want to cover the key findings. Well, first, let me talk about the goals. Again, this was ahead of our fly-in, and we really wanted to anchor our education and better understand where consumers and voters are on this issue so that we're starting there and we're bringing them to this. It was a national survey of more than 200 respondents. 1,800 of them were voters, and we were in the field at the end of April. So our key findings. Consumers are optimistic about AI's potential, but they demand stronger personal oversight. Privacy was a huge theme with our responses in the polling, and the majority of respondents said that if folks are using our data, we want more control over it. The public has a strong appetite that's growing for AI beyond big tech's constraints. So we tested, big tech and the players in this space versus the positioning of more decentralized actors or lesser known actors, and there was a really strong preference for decentralization in that respect. Voters are looking for alternatives to centralized AI, whether that's because they recognize sort of key deficits from the internet, key deficits from crypto. There is a fundamental understanding that decentralization offers a more resilient and a more private and a more secure network than having or relying on these centralized actors. And then finally, decentralized AI and decentralized systems are more favorable to consumers, and I want to dig into that a little bit more. So this is going back to what I originally said. We never said decentralized AI. We never said centralized AI. We used System 1 and System 2. So System 1 was described as owned and controlled by a single entity or corporation, often through large servers, where users have limited say over what data is collected and how it's used. System 2, decentralized AI, was described as systems that are distributed across multiple networks or connections, allowing them to operate independently and collaboratively, where users can control what data is shared and how it's used. So when you take a look at how this fared across various circumstances, decentralized AI wins the day almost every day. It's beneficial to overall society by 77%. And I'd say from one of the things, and this was our pollster was Harris, and one of the things that Harris said is they were surprised by the large margins of this response. It's more trustworthy. It's more supportive of innovation. It's safe. It's able to solve issues more effectively. It's secure for consumers' data. But then when you flip and energy efficient. But then when you flip concerns that consumers might have with respect to censorship, likely to benefit big tech, you see that centralized actors are seen as more harmful to consumers in that respect. So, if you want to, I'm happy to share this deck so you can link to the full data or the full polling responses. But I'd also make an ask of this group. Senator Rounds and Senator Heinrich have an open RFI right now around AI. Responses are due by June 30th. So if this is an issue that you care about, I highly recommend responding. And if you have any questions, I'm one of 3 on the DCG policy team. Tiffany Angelo is based in DC, and then Kyle Schnepp, some of you may know, is also on our policy team. So we're here with any questions, but thank you, Paul, for the opportunity.